I continue looking at this problem. Part B should be very, very quick. And you know how this works on the AP exam. You're going to have parts that are really quick and really easy and parts that are not. When they talk about increasing or decreasing, we're talking about a number line problem. Of course, we know that a function increases or decreases based on the signs of f prime. All right, so we can see here we've got critical values at -2 and 2 and what is that, 3, 4, 5. We've got critical values at all of those places. That's places where the derivative is equal to 0, places where we might have a change in direction. And anyway, you should just be able to plot those real quick and then basically look at everything on either side. So notice here that to the left of -2, the derivative is positive. We're not looking at the slope. This is f prime, so we're just looking at the signs of the derivative. And the slope is positive, and that means the function is going to be increasing. Okay, we have negative derivative values here between -2 and 2, and so as a result, the function is decreasing there. Between 2 and 5, you can see we have positive values of the function, and so the function is going to be increasing there. And then finally, it doesn't matter because it ends at 5. So we can see when it increases and decreases. Part C asks us for the absolute minimum value on the closed interval. Well, technically, when you're checking for max and minimum values, technically you want to check, they call them the candidate points. Okay, and the candidate points would be any endpoint of the interval. So the interval starts at -6 and the interval ends at 5. Okay, technically any relative maximum or minimum could be a location. So there could be one at -2, there could be one at +2. Notice though, -2 is a maximum. Only +2 is a minimum. So you really only need to check +2. So if you remember from before, f of 5 was equal to, I think it was it 10 minus pi? I think was the 10 minus 2 pi. I really hope that was what it was. And -6, I believe it was 4. Okay, and we really just want to check the value at 2, and the minimum value of the function is just the lowest value out of all of those different values. So the functional value at 2 here, to find that, we're taking the initial value at 7, and we're adding the integral. They're starting us at -2, and we're adding the integral going to +2. Okay, and if you notice there, from -2 to +2, that's just that half circle that's below the axis. We're moving forward. So that's just going to be 7 minus 2 pi. Okay, and I think if you go through there and you check it, I think you're going to find 7 minus 2 pi is the lowest overall value. So you do need to read the question carefully. Do they ask you what's the x value where the minimum occurs, or do they ask you for the relative minimum, or in this case, the absolute minimum? And the minimum value, the lowest value on this list here, is going to be that value at 7 minus 2 pi. Again, if you wanted to check at -2, that's another option, but I think you'll find that that's going to be a bigger value because it's actually at a relative maximum. Okay, last part there, part D, they ask about the second derivatives. Of course, that's just the slopes of the derivatives. So f prime of -5, you can find the slope here at -5. F prime of 3, you can find the slope there at 3. And you will notice there's a cusp at 3. So there is no second derivative at 3, but the second derivative at -5 should just be the slope of f prime at -5. And I'll let you calculate that.